This is an audio summary of Irene Iddesleigh by Amanda Mckittrick Ros, chapter by chapter. Please check the description for chapter selection. This summary is brought to you by Swagbucks. Earn $10 towards any gift card when you sign up with the QR code or link in the description below. Use Swagbucks to earn Swagbucks to get more gift cards for you, your friends, and your family. In fact, you can earn Swagbucks while you listen to this summary. Be sure to check it out. Also check the description for a link to Amazon to buy the full book. Irene Iddesleigh is often known as the worst book ever made. Comment down below your thoughts. Chapter 1. Irene Iddesleigh, a young woman of exquisite beauty, is introduced. Her mother, Mrs. Iddesleigh, harbors the ambition to secure a wealthy marriage for Irene, particularly with the prosperous Oscar. Mrs. Iddesleigh's desire for social status is evident as she attempts to navigate Irene's romantic prospects. Oscar, however, shows no genuine interest in Irene, and his attentions are focused elsewhere. The chapter concludes with Mrs. Iddesleigh's disappointment and her determination to find another suitable suitor for her daughter. Chapter 2. The Iddesleighs host a garden party, where Irene's beauty becomes the topic of conversation among the guests. Although the gathering aims to impress potential suitors, Irene's interactions are strained and lack authenticity. Oscar's presence at the party is minimal, leaving Mrs. Iddesleigh disappointed once again. It becomes clear that Irene's suitors are drawn more to her external beauty than to her character as she struggles to find a genuine connection. Chapter 3. In this chapter, Irene's father, Mr. Iddesleigh, falls ill. The family is faced with financial difficulties, and Irene's dreams of a wealthy marriage are further complicated. The focus shifts from romantic pursuits to the challenges faced by the Iddesleigh family. The chapter delves into their financial struggles, highlighting their vulnerability and the impending threat of poverty. Chapter 4. Tragedy strikes the Iddesleighs as Mr. Iddesleigh passes away. Irene's mother is left to navigate life as a widow, burdened with the responsibility of providing for Irene. Mrs. Iddesleigh's desperation to secure a prosperous marriage for her daughter intensifies, and she becomes increasingly focused on societal expectations. Meanwhile, Irene's hopes for true love and happiness seem distant and unattainable. Chapter 5. Irene's mother devises a plan to introduce her daughter to the wealthy Sir John Dunfern, hoping for a favorable outcome. The chapter follows their meeting, revealing Sir John's shallow nature and his inclination toward materialistic pursuits. Irene, although initially flattered by his attention, realizes the emptiness of his affections. The encounter leaves her disheartened, further emphasizing the stark contrast between her desires for love and her mother's relentless pursuit of wealth. Chapter 6. Irene's life takes an unexpected turn when she meets the kind-hearted yet unassuming Reverend Charles. Their chance encounter sparks a genuine connection, and Irene begins to believe in the possibility of love. However, their blossoming relationship is met with disapproval from her mother, who prioritizes financial security over Irene's emotional fulfillment. The chapter highlights the conflict between societal expectations and personal happiness. Chapter 7. As Irene and Reverend Charles continue to spend time together, their love deepens. Their encounters are characterized by genuine affection and shared values. However, their happiness is overshadowed by Mrs. Iddesleigh's disapproval and manipulative tactics. She attempts to drive a wedge between the couple, further emphasizing her obsession with material wealth and societal status. Chapter 8. The tension between Irene's desires and her mother's influence reaches its peak. Irene confronts her mother, expressing her love for Reverend Charles and her determination to follow her heart. Mrs. Iddesleigh, unwilling to accept her daughter's choice, resorts to emotional manipulation and threatens to disown Irene if she pursues the relationship. Despite the emotional turmoil, Irene remains steadfast in her commitment to Reverend Charles. Chapter 9. Irene and Reverend Charles decide to elope, seeking a life together away from the judgment and interference of Irene's mother. They escape to a distant town, hoping to build a future based on love and mutual respect. The chapter portrays their initial joy and the challenges they face as they establish themselves in a new environment. It showcases their resilience and determination to create a life free from societal expectations. Chapter 10. The book's conclusion reveals the hardships endured by Irene and Reverend Charles as they face financial struggles and social isolation. Despite the hardships, their love endures, and they find solace in their unwavering commitment to each other. The chapter emphasizes the power of love to overcome adversity and the importance of pursuing one's own happiness, even in the face of societal disapproval. In Irene Iddesleigh, Amanda Mckittrick Ros tells the story of a young woman trapped between her own desires for love and happiness and the societal pressures imposed by her mother. Unfortunately, the writing style of this book has earned it the title of Worst Book Ever Made, and is truly a disappointment to read. But if you'd like a summary, check out the link in the description to the full video, as well as a link to purchase the book if you dare.